one of the very sweet stories that I've always enjoyed is Dr. Lewis and Mrs. Lewis accompanied Yogananda to the up to San Francisco from Los Angeles. Long drive by car, late 1940s. This was when Swami Kriyananda was living with Yogananda. But they went in a small group up. I forget what was happening there, but a special event. And so Dr. and Mrs. Lewis were extremely tired that day. They had traveled all day, and so when they'd gone out to dinner together at a Chinese restaurant, but they had adjoining rooms with Yogananda. And he asked them to keep the door open, which is always like, uh-oh. And so they're in bed, and the door is open, and all of a sudden they hear Sabgam from the other room. And Mrs. Lewis says, no, we're sleeping. And then super Sabgam. And then super Sabgam Duff. And Mrs. Lewis, Dr. Lewis said she turned to the wall for help. Just to know we're sleeping. And then finally, super submarine Sabgam Duff. Yogananda didn't say, hey, you guys, why don't you come on in? He just did it that way. And so at that point, Dr. Lewis he said, they got up, they were laughing, they went in the other room, and he said what was happening there it was Master's sweet way, maybe impish way, of inviting them to come in, because he said at that point, I think it was around 1948, he said they had much less time with him. And so he really wanted to spend time with them. They had been with him in the very beginning, and now here was an opportunity for them to have some very sweet satsang. And so he said, Dr. Lewis said, we spent the rest of the night talking and then meditating and then going to bed in the early morning hours.